Hi, so this video is probably going to be a mess and probably going to be very rushed, but it is a very important video. It's something that I absolutely need to make a video about and need to speak on because I just found out that an independent bookstore in Brighton, England is at risk of going out of business. Afrori Books in Brighton is a Black-owned bookstore that specializes in books by Black authors, but if they don't sell around 300 books by the end of April in a handful of days, then they are at risk of going out of business. Now, I'm often advocating for independent bookstores on this channel. I have recently started a series where I go and I interview either the owners or a bookseller at an independent bookstore. So far, they have all been in the United Kingdom as I live in England, and on my list of bookstores that I have wanted to go to and interview and in a way promote is Afrori Books. But if we don't band together to ensure that they are able to stay open, that's never gonna happen. More importantly, an independent business, someone's whole life, their whole financial income and all that stuff is going to disappear, as well as a community space is going to disappear. Besides my interview videos, I also have a whole entire other video talking about why you should support independent bookstores, why you should shop at independent bookstores, so I'm not going to go into depth on why you should support independent bookstores, but I am going to highlight a few key points. One being because they are more at risk of going out of business kind of constantly over those big businesses who are totally fine and don't need your financial support. I understand the convenience of a chain like Waterstones or Barnes & Noble and how, because they are often bigger and have a wider variety, people like to go there to ensure that they can find the book they want. But I have on multiple occasions been to both Waterstones and Barnes and not found the book I want. I also understand that people like the convenience of ordering from Amazon. Amazon does not need your money. I avoid Amazon like the plague personally, and I believe that it is better to order online from these independent businesses. Afrori Books on their website has it so you can order online. Like I said, I have not been able to get down to Brighton. Would have loved to quickly throw together a video on the bookstore showing more of the bookstore, but it was just not gonna happen. So I instead ordered a couple books online, which is something that anyone across the UK can do. And I understand if you're in another country that, you know, shipping is going to be more expensive. They do also sell ebooks and audiobooks on their website. And even if you're in the UK and unable to pay for shipping, thus I'm sure it can help them as well. Something I also mentioned is they're a community space. So supporting independent bookstores is supporting your community because it's also putting money into the local economy as opposed to giving it to Amazon, who again, I'll say a billion times, does not need your money and is more of a global monopoly at this point. And I have said many times in these hard times in this political climate, I think having a community and supporting your community is a really good way to find hope and connection. But if we don't support these local businesses, then they disappear and parts of the community disappears. Not only that, while talking about the political climate, this is a Black-owned business. So if you want to help support minorities, supporting minority-owned businesses is a way to do that. As I mentioned, I ordered 2 books. I ordered Legendborn and Parable of the Sower. And so I do want to talk a bit about Afrori's books selection that they have online, and I'm sure they have similar in store. If y'all don't know where Brighton is, I believe it's like more in the south of England. Listen, I'm sure you can tell from my accent, I'm not originally from the UK, so I could be wrong. I mean, listen, okay? Brighton is where Zoe and Alfie live. Y'all know Zoe and Alfie, and honestly, Zoe and Alfie should get over to that bookstore, to Afrori Books, like the OG Brit YouTubers. You guys remember them? Anyway, to highlight some of the books that they have on their website, like I just said, I got Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. They have a wide variety of Octavia E. Butler books. Some books that I've mentioned on my channel before: Second Tide's the Charm, My Week with Him. They have other Joya Goffney books as well. Cinderella is Dead. Kaylin Bayron books are all on their website, and I recently talked about how to be anti-racist. In an upcoming video, I will be talking about Unapologetic. And I have talked briefly before about So you want to talk about race. So they have fiction, nonfiction, they have a large variety of books. They have Kamala Cole books. They have I, Medusa is a popular one right now. Daggermouth is a popular one right now that they have. One that's piqued my interest personally is My Sister the Serial Killer, as well as Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I don't know, I've been really feeling like I want to do more thriller horror books. Pardon My Frenchie looks like a cute romance that I really want to read, maybe because there's a dog on the cover. Who's to say? They have N.E. Davenport books. They have N.K. Jemisin books, The Fifth Season. That's one I am looking for. They have The Deep by River Solomon. A nonfiction that really interests me is It's Not That Radical, which I believe is about climate change. But like I said, I also got Legendborn. They have Tracy Dion books. They have that whole series. They have a lot of YA books. There's a YA book while we're talking about how Amazon does not eat your money called The Summer I Ate the Rich. I'm really interested in that one, and I don't know, I think that could be a really cool read. 7 Days in June is a book that I know is very popular. So they have very popular books, they have very niche books, they have a, like I said, wide variety of books. They sell audiobooks and ebooks on their website. They are a community bookstore. So they put on events for their community. It seems like they give back to the community. So I really highly recommend, if you can, help them reach their goal by the end of this week. They have a handful of days to reach that goal. That would be incredible, because I really don't want to see another independent bookstore go down, get closed. Like, it would be just not great. And I think it would be nice to see the community band together in order to ensure that this bookstore does not close. I have seen a lot on Instagram of people are really trying, so that is good. But it's one of those things, if you are already going to buy a book, if you are already going to order a book online, try to order from an independent bookstore like Afrori, especially right now when Afrori is at risk of going out of business. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say, because I just want to get this out there as soon as possible, be able to get this out and use. I know I don't have the biggest platform, but I want to be able to use my platform for things like this. I will always advocate for the things that I believe in. So advocate, I meant to say advocate. I will always be an advocate, and I will always advocate. And this could be a good opportunity to, like I said, pick up one of those books that you've been hearing everybody talk about, or one that just looks interesting that you've never heard of before. I love to pick up a book like that, because sometimes it ends up being the best book that you've read recently. And if you've never read kind of some of the classics by Black authors, this is a good chance to do that as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say about this. Please, 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 if you can help, please do. And just in general, support independent businesses, support independent bookstores, especially as a reader. And I will see you soon with another video. Bye!